Okay, so we're back with the animal sheet, and I'm back with my original lizard drawing. And I just wanted to show you first of all that lots of them have a range of textures. So if your animal has fur, it is quite distinct what that texture is. So when you use your wax crayon, you can add those small fur lines. But if you're looking at something more like the butterfly or the lizard, actually, if you were to run your finger over the top of here, it'd probably be fairly smooth. So what we have to concentrate on, rather than adding a really distinctive texture, is actually capturing the light and dark areas to make it look slightly three-dimensional. So with the lizard, and I have that in front of me again, just there we go, like that. And I'm going to grab myself a couple of different greens so that I can capture the light and dark shades. And what I'm not going to do is colour in absolutely everything. So I don't want to end up with a completely filled in scale, because that would defeat the point of adding any watercolour. So I need to carefully add in some dark green. And this is not done with me just going, oh, I'm just going to add some dark green. I am looking at the picture. Yeah, I am looking to see where the dark green is actually going. It's not random at all. I'm using my crayon in several different directions, so I'm not filling in lots of the space into sort of a block flat colour. I'm actually using it side to side, which is helping to create a nice, interesting texture to look at. Okay, and then I'm going to move on to the next one and look at some of the darker tones. And once I've done a few of those darker tones, I'm then going to add in some of the brighter tones as well. So I'm actually going to add in, with this lime green, over the top of some of the green. You know you can layer wax crayons because you've had a little practice doing your wax and watercolour. Okay, so you know that already. Again, I need to leave some areas blank so that I can see watercolour. Already I've got something that looks nice and interesting to look at. Okay, part of making a piece of artwork is making it enjoyable to look at for other people as well as yourself, obviously. So lots of interesting mark making techniques. And a black going round the edges here, filling in some of those sort of darker tones where the shadows behind the scales are. When it comes to something like the actual eye itself, there are loads of different mark making techniques in there. So it might be that actually you have to use your crayon in a very different way to what you were just doing. And it doesn't matter that I'm not getting all this coloured, because again, I'm going to use my watercolour to fill in the sections that are behind that. Yeah, so I'm actually using lots of dotting techniques here to copy what's in that eye. Yeah, there are darker areas over here that I need to fill in, so I might actually do a bit more solid stuff there, but I'm not going to do that everywhere. Really picking and choosing what I do and where. I'm going to leave that there. It will end up something, hang on, I've got a couple of examples here. Something more like that when you develop it and you put more on your scales. So the next one, moving on to more of a fur texture. There we go. Okay, should be fairly straightforward to see what the marks are like with the fur. So with the tiger, the directions of the hair really matter. So an example of something that wouldn't look good, I know this is my demo, but I'll do it on here, is the fur, take this out, shouldn't be in several different directions. So you shouldn't be going this way and then go, do you know what, I'm just going to go back the other way. You're going to end up with something that looks a bit bizarre and odd if you keep on changing your direction of your fur. So on your animal, you need to look really carefully to see where the directions are. So let's concentrate on this section here. So the fur is going up that way. Yeah, imagine actually stroking the tiger, then I would be moving my hand in that direction. And I am going to build up the fur using lots and lots of small marks. And this is actually probably more repetitive than the lizard one. Okay, so if you are somebody that gets a little bit bored doing the same thing for a little while, then it's probably best to pick an animal that has a few different variations of texture and different colours in there. So I'm working my way down, putting in the fur, really, just realised you couldn't see any of that, really carefully, but moving in one direction. And that would work for the giraffe, it would work for the wolf, it would work for the zebra. Okay, they all have small fur which you can build up. Again, there are areas where you can add slightly flatter colour. So you might add, because the black bit of the eye is shiny and smooth, you might actually add some flat colour to there, or around the eye you might actually go in there and add some flat colour. Okay, I'm just going to show you one that's slightly more finished so you can see what you're aiming for. Turn out the other way. Yeah, try not to wobble my camera. There we go. Okay, so you can see I've added in all of fur, and I've just started to add the watercolour in as well. Okay. Right, enjoy that first stage, and then the next time you come back to it, when you finish all your wax crayon, we're going to add watercolour. Enjoy.